Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the African American Awareness Club, I would like to welcome you to the 2019 Colors of Pride Black History Month Assembly. Similar to the past, our objective here today is to share with you a different perspective on what is currently affecting and has been affecting the history of African Americans along with other minorities in our country today. The students of African American Awareness Club wanted to share with you a perspective on scenarios we often go through on a daily basis. With that being said, we understand that some of the things you may hear today may be different or even similar from your personal experiences, what you hear in your homes, or what you maybe even encounter in the halls of North Penn. With that being said, we will start today by singing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Written by James Weldon Johnson and adopted by the NAACP as its theme song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, also known as the Black National Anthem, gave hope to many during the Civil Rights era. Singing this song became a means by which African Americans could demonstrate their patriotism along with hope for the future of America. In calling for earth and heaven to ring with the harmonies of liberty, Black people spoke out against racism and Jim Crow laws. The lyrics embedded in this song say something about our heritage, African Americans, our culture, our triumphs, our struggles, and our hope for the future of America. At this time, I invite you to join us for singing Lift Every Voice and Sing, sung by Maya Owens.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing skies, let it resound loud as a rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thank you, Maya, for snapping on us so hard with that. But the theme for today's presentation will be a day in the life. And for those of you who might not understand, let me take a minute. You know, as teenagers, we go through things all the time. Academics, schools, clubs, sports. We see you with your relationships in the hallways. Family. And in AAAC, we talked about all of these things, but we noticed there was a common denominator. We noticed that there's a cultural lens that not many of us share. And we hope today that we can show you that lens through the form of poetry written and performed by Mia. Thank you.
Hey y'all. We all do the same things. Come to school, do some work, socialize. But everything is different depending on the eyes that see the difference between you and me. The soul that feels the way that some have treated me. The ears that hear and have almost grown accustomed to being unheard unfairly. Watching and articulating everything I say, my tongue by now has been bitten off because I don't want to offend my oppressor clearly. They say, oh, she's so well-spoken. Well, would you expect me not to be? The way I portray myself means a lot to me. It's a shame, but every day I purposely shun the stereotypical black girl inside of me. But the frustration that she holds needs to get out of me, rejected by both societies. Too light to be all the way black, so I must be mixed, but put me in a school full of white people and I don't quite fit. It's not just a quick fix. Give us the bare minimum just to keep us quiet, because America can't stand to see black boys and black girls raise their derogatory fists. Miles of this race and we still aren't even close to the end of it. Evil is disguised in our denial and our ignorance. Every day I pray for my brother and my father driving in their car, no matter the distance, short or far, because we don't know whether a speeding ticket will cause for his gun to draw. And you didn't even know that the KKK was just candy-gramming in our backyard, leaving flyers on porches for those to join the Ku Klux Klan. You might be, but I'm not alarmed, and it's not hard for me to believe that they didn't travel up from the bounds of Alabama or the guts of Tennessee. They're walking amongst you and me, so skeptical I ought to be. No matter how rich I become or how successful I will be, I can never live my life carefree because of the things I didn't ask for that automatically come with me. But no, I wouldn't change a thing, because if you couldn't see, being black is dope no matter who's trying to oppress me. So from these chains, we will be set free, but only if you believe in destiny.
Thank you, Mia, for that powerful introduction for today's presentation. The concept of code switching is one that is not new to any of us. We all do it instinctively, from changing how we speak, how we act, how we dress, and some of us have even been known to change the color of our hair in order to assimilate. Let's hear how code switching plays a part in the day-to-day life of a student of color here at North Penn. Let me now welcome Sadia Williams.
Before we get up in the morning to get dressed, we never profess that we go through this endless mocking process. We hate this forced, non-profitable branch of theatrics called code switching. Now, code switching, enacting an alternation of one's vernacular, appearance, how one acts, and one carries themselves, depending on one's surroundings. The freestyling of the, hi, how are you? Oh, how is your day, Miss so-and-so who? Just to name a few. There are many people that spoke about it, but it is a common factor that we as a people have to switch it up, even our laughter, just to attain a job. This never-ending theatric improvisations is always there, lurking at interviews, jobs, and schools, and pretty much everywhere we go in the nation. My very presence publicly announces that I am ready to take back salvation, to never take back my clapback because I know my information. They will call us ghetto if we don't talk the way they want us to. They will label us as fools. We greet our friends and greet them with the, hey, boo, and some dap each other up with the, what's up, bruh? It shouldn't matter if we say, look who got the drip on, or if they say, that's a wonderful bag you got on there. Y'all say, when will we receive the money? And we say, where the bag at? People always judge by appearances. When we are around our friends, we talk the way we want to talk. And then I go into my mother's occupation, and I hear her working, and she's using someone else's voice. She said they'll think she sounds mad or upset, even furious if she asks, how are you, in her regular tone. So therefore, she is forced to talk like a voice operator on the phone. We have to keep up appearances and put on a smile, reach our goals for the day, and then in a while, when we get home, we blast our favorite anthems, dreams, and nightmares, and we get in the zone. It's not enough to keep it real. We have to keep it at a T. The apostrophes are everywhere, just not where they'd usually be. This does not lower our tenacity. That's just how it's supposed to be.
I think code switching would be like you're switching codes, you know, like, I don't know.
Code switching is when you use different language between different people and in different settings.
It's like
You know, when you're in front of your black friends, you would talk like, you know, like from the Bronx, oh, but then when you're in front of your white friends, it's like, oh my God, hey.
Code switching?
I don't know, I'm not sure.
It's where you basically, who you're talking to, you switch how you speak.
You have to have your own type of personality with a certain group of people, and then with another group of people, you gotta act a certain, like, different way with them too.
I have no idea.
Using different variants of language depending on the environment in which you find yourself. So, for example, speaking to a teacher, you'd speak in a much more formal tone than you would if you were among your friends. And it's also based on ethnic background as well.
I'm black.
Yeah.
So every word that comes out of my mouth is me talking.
Yeah, but
so I'm talking black.
But you're not talking black because you don't sound black while you're talking.
And that's my point.
Right,
and I'm offended by that. What do you mean I don't sound black? I'm black, so I sound just as black as you do.
I asked myself that question, like, who am I? I've graduated from a top 10 university. I graduated from Northwestern University, and I know how to speak standard English. And there's a part of me that is this kind of professional, this is how I'm going to speak. And then there's another part of me that's like, you know, no, I'm a homegirl and I can speak like this. And, you know, you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. And I guess sometimes I'm this way and sometimes I'm that way.
Do all African Americans speak African American English? Nobody knows for sure. My guess is about 90% of African Americans speak some form of African American English.
I think you can look at middle class speakers and assume that they don't speak African American vernacular English because all I'm hearing is standard English. But what happens is that a lot of middle class speakers do what I like to call code switching, right? So that in certain contexts, they use the vernacular. In other contexts, they will use something that's more considered to be more standard, mainstream standard English.
I could, you know, speak and talk just like everyone else. I guarantee you that I can carry on a conversation without using not one slang terminology. But the thing is, I'm just more comfortable saying what I want to say and how I want to say it. So it can be a form of expression if that's your comfort zone and you want to express yourself through those slang terms. But then for some individuals, it may be a social approval kind of a thing where you don't want to seem like you're an outsider or a square because you're not exactly expressing yourself the way that everybody else did.
Where I come from, if they saw me here in school, they call me white. You talk white. So when I leave here, I don't speak how I'm speaking right now because I don't want to be deemed as talking white. Right? That's just the reality of it.
African Americans are historically really good at code switching. And so I think it becomes less, they lose a bit when you move out of the city and you live in the suburbs because there is nowhere to switch code because everything around you is suburbia, which, you know, we tend to assimilate to white culture, and so you don't have any people of color, you don't have anybody that looks like you, that talks like you, and you just lose it, and it changes language, and you come back to the city, and people are just looking at you like you're not of this world, because what are you talking about?
Part of what has made it so distinctive in the past has been racial segregation, and so to the extent that communities become less segregated, the nature of the variety probably will change. But even speakers who are integrated into mainstream circles, many of them make an effort to maintain some ethnic distinctiveness linguistically in spite of that mainstream integration. And so I think to some extent there will always be, you know, distinctive ways of speaking by and among African Americans.
I look out into this audience and I see a bunch of people of beautiful skin colors, various tones and hues, and I just see the truest representation of America. We can sit together, we can learn together, and we can live together. And while the color of our skin shouldn't matter, newsflash, it does, and has for far too long. Journey, can you please speak your truth?
Ashley's skin is darker than mine, a really pretty shade of penny. Christian's skin is lighter than mine, a shade of light caramel unique to all and any. And you should see Mia's skin. You'd be mesmerized by that shade of mocha. There's so much beauty in every single shade, but society won't recognize this because this isn't what's championed. Starting with straight porcelain to now wanting the perfect tan, black skin has always been viewed as less than. This dismissive view has pervaded our own, black skin versus black skin. As if society's snide look wasn't enough, we allow this complexion competition, light skin versus dark skin. Our own beautiful black race going out of our way to tear each other down, mark our brothers and sisters as less than because they aren't light enough or dark enough for your taste.
What is colorism? Colorism is prejudice or discrimination based on skin color. This practice is historically used against individuals with a darker skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group with the intention of having leverage over others. Colorism's roots lead back to slavery. Slave owners typically gave preferential treatment to slaves with lighter skin. While many dark-skinned slaves worked outdoors in the fields, their light-skinned counterparts worked indoors completing tasks that were far less grueling physically, such as cooking, cleaning, and taking care of children. Why? Because light-skinned slaves signified that they were offspring of the slave owners. So, despite not recognizing them as relatives, they still gave them privileges. The so-called brown paper bag test originated in the 1920s jazz scene at the Cotton Club in New York City. The all-white customers went to see famous jazz musicians such as Cab Calloway and Duke Ellington, but they would also attend the Cotton Club to see the Copper Color Girls, the club's troupe of light-skinned dancers. The white club owner had a strict rule for female dancers hoping to join the Copper Color Girls. Their skin had to be lighter than the brown paper bag. For decades after the 1920s, this criteria was used to determine the degree of privilege and determine acceptance into certain African American groups and churches.
Light and fair skin is a part of the Western beauty standard that many people try to follow all around the world. Many dark-skinned women and men try to achieve this beauty standard by lightening their skin using skin bleaching products. Skin bleaching is a cosmetic procedure that aims to lighten darker areas of their skin or achieve a generally paler skin tone. American model and entrepreneur Blac Chyna has taken it upon herself to partner up and be the face of the $250 skin bleaching creams. She not only sponsors this company called White Nations, she also flew out to Nigeria to promote the bleaching cream. According to a 2011 report by the World Health Organization, 77% of Nigerian women use skin bleaching products. Skin bleaching has become the norm to achieve the Eurocentric standard of beauty in society. As in other parts of the world, the reason is often a perceived social bias against darker-skinned women. This is not just a problem in the African community, but Asian communities and others. This comes from the constant pressure of society and media saying the ideal woman is a light skin or tan or to look exotic. This issue is more than a controversial product. It targets women who are already weak and insecure, exploiting their weaknesses. In Western society, having Eurocentric features such as straight hair, a narrow nose, thin lips, and fair skin are ultimately praised by everyone, including people in the Black community. People who don't fit these standards have been outcasted by society for years. They have been ridiculed and unrepresented for not fitting the Western standard of beauty. Colorism has also been popular on social media because the hashtags Team Lightskin and Team Darkskin. These hashtags and many other social media posts have made the two skin tones go against each other, especially in the Black community. Limited foundation shade ranges, comments such as "you're pretty for a dark skin girl," and Eurocentric beauty preferences are all catalysts in colorism affecting how society views darker skinned people. In the Black community, colorism is so prevalent that some Blacks will only reproduce with people to have a child that fits the beauty standard. Some will claim that they want mixed babies and will openly admit that they do not want children who are dark-skinned. Having a lighter-skinned child has become a priority in the Black community.
In the 40 or so years that hip-hop and rap have been around, colorism has made its way into songs and music videos performed by mainly Black artists. The models portrayed in their music videos are often light-skinned Black women, non-Black women, and racially ambiguous women. But artists such as Kendrick Lamar and 2 Chainz have purposely put dark-skinned models in their music videos for the sake of representation. Unfortunately, Black artists such as Kodak Black have openly stated that they don't want a woman that has a darker skin complexion than them. Instead, they want a lighter skin or fair-skinned woman.
Many people around the world still do not understand what colorism is, but will still carry out colorist acts. Although colorism has been around for centuries, it still has its effects in the day of the life of a person of color.
Yes, I know. History is powerful. It shows us just how far we've come and just how far we have yet to go. And as the next generation to take the lead, it's important for us to know that we have the power. We have the power to affect change. We have the power to pave a new road, and we have the power to use our voices big and strong right now.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Dr. D.
All right, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. D, and this is Miss Tinsley.
Hi, Miss Tinsley.
Now, today we have some special guests with us.
Hello, I'm Miss Rebecca. I'm one of the security officers here.
Hey guys, some of you guys may know me. I'm Mr. Etheridge or Mr. E.
Yo, Mr. E.
What's up, guys? And I'm the special ed assistant here.
So we're going to talk about something that was brought to our attention yesterday. We felt that their perspective would be good to hear. Does anybody want to tell us what happened?
I can. So,
stand up.
All right, Dr. D, come on. All right, so a few days ago after our AAAC meeting, a group of us were in K-Pod. While we were there, security guards came up to us and said we were being too loud, which we weren't. We also weren't the only kids in K-Pod, but we were the only ones asked to leave. We were pretty much kicked out of our own school, but then Jordan had to come in because he had a meeting with his teacher.
All right, so I'm gonna jump in at this moment. So I tried to explain to the man that I really need to see my teacher. He then told me that all teachers were gone and had the nerve to close the door on my face. Right.
In my man's face. Like, at this point, we just came back into the school, but then less than a minute, he came right back up to us and said we had to leave again. I tried to give him, he asked for our IDs, sorry. He asked for our IDs, and some of us didn't have ours, so we tried to show him our schedule, but that still didn't work because he threatened to call the cops on us. The cops. He said we was trespassing in our own school. Like, I was so mad, but I told my friends he can't do nothing, no, because we wasn't even in the wrong.
All right, so I'm going to jump in at this point. I was there for some of the incident. I'm going to share my perspective on what happened.
Look, bro, look, she was about to side with them.
Right, yo.
Can you give me a chance to share another side? See, you all were hanging out at the school. You're right, there were many other students there as well. However, those students had a reason to be there. I'm usually here after school, so I know all the athletes, and I know the students who are in FBLA with managing Nice Nutrition.
Knight's Nutrition, available Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays after school in the sports lobby.
Well, students are supposed to go to whatever place they're designated to be in after school. However, when I focused on your group, I wasn't focused on your group of friends. You weren't, and just like every other student in this building. What drew my attention to you was the fact that you were being so loud. So I usually have good rapport with all of you, so I decided to come over, ask you where you were supposed to be, and ask you if you could just keep the volume down. However, when I tried to approach you, you were very dismissive and tried to ignore me. So from there, the situation just escalated.
Now, you guys know you are never to disrespect anyone, even if you feel you are receiving it.
Well, can you tell the security guards that?
Exactly. Like, why is it so okay to be disrespected by authority and get all the blame, but they get nothing?
This isn't a blame thing. I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from. However, I'm not hearing where you own that you were being disrespectful to me. Don't you remember that time where I tried to come up to you, you looked at me, rolled your eyes, and walked away?
I do.
All right,
Exactly.
come on. That's beside the point.
All right, now I'm gonna step in because that is the point. You were all dismissive when she was talking to you, and you said you was gonna be disrespectful because you felt disrespected. That's not the way we taught y'all to handle conflict.
You just don't understand, bro.
Mana, what don't we understand?
It's hard to have a positive and calm tone when you feel you're being discriminated against. We weren't the only group of kids in K-pop, but for some reason the group of black kids was targeted. Nah, look, it's the same thing that goes on during the day. I know we can get a little loud and a little crazy, but why we gotta get in trouble for it?
Okay, so let me step up. Like I said before, I'm Mr. E. So we understand where you guys are coming from. And it's sad to say that in today's society, in 2019, people are still being discriminated against.
Yeah.
And we all have our own little stories that we could attest to, and in no way, shape, or form am I saying that's okay or acceptable when it happens. However, we have to look at how you or other students may act and carry yourselves in the hallway and how sometimes may demonstrate the negative stereotypes that you guys are frustrated with. Remember, there's a time and place for everything. There's no need to be screaming and yelling in the hallway, using crazy profanity, and talking back to teachers. I mean, I get your frustration. Remember, I graduated from North Penn. Everything you feel right now, I felt back when I used to go here, I said 10 times worse. But at the same time, I learned that there's a better way to handle a situation when you feel like you're being mistreated and targeted. I know it may sound crazy or whatever, but sometimes you guys just gotta walk away. You know, you gotta walk away and like not engage. I know it may hurt your ego and kill your pride, but like don't engage. It's not gonna make the situation any better. It's gonna only make it worse. So just bring it up with a counselor, AP, or any adult for that matter.
Okay, but did you hear what you just said?
There you go.
Like, why we gotta stop being us to make others feel comfortable?
Listen, we understand you're very upset.
You just don't understand. You just don't.
What is it that we don't understand?
Please leave me and the color of my skin. Leave the width of my nose, leave the structure of my chin. Growing up, other black kids were my only safety pin. They reminded me that we live in a world we all belong in. Please don't assume that college isn't for me. My native tongue ain't like yours, but I still deserve an advanced degree. I just need you to take the time to truly see me. Now sit back, because I'm about to say some things you can't say, like every time you see me in the hallway. Most of the time, I don't even skip class just to skip. Sometimes I need a break in order not to get sick. Sick of being the only one in every class, sick of answering questions about my people that no teacher should ask. Now, I know there are times when my tone is slight, and I know there are times when my behavior isn't right. I just implore you to have compassion and to cut me some slack. I'm a teenager. I'm still growing. Please don't hate me for that.
Mata, that was beautifully said. I want you to know that I hear you.
Yeah.
Where you going? Look at me. I hear you. I just want you to do better. When you break the rules, I can't just turn a blind eye. I'm gonna call you out on it. And you could call me out on it too, but respectfully. We're in this together. Deal?
Yeah.
Aww.
There will be times in all our lives when our parents and guardians have to show us the way how to navigate through this world. For an African American male, that conversation is very specific and one I think we all should hear. So maybe one day near, it'll be different.
I may not be a boy, but I'm still upset, even though I'm not directly affected. I'm upset that all these precious black boys have to bear such fear unfairly brought upon them through racial profiling. I may not be a boy, but I'm still scared that I'll have a son and have to give this talk to him. I know I won't be the one originating that fear, but I'll have to perpetuate its severity to my baby boy out of the love I have for him. because I want him to get home safe and sound. I may not be a boy, but I'm still furious because there's so many terrible things in this world that will work to tear him down constantly, make his life harder every step of the way because of his rich, beautiful skin. And this talk is one of those many terrible things. I may not be a boy, but I'm still so sorry. Sorry that Black boys must endure it. Please, stay alive.
Mo, we need to talk about something with you.
Okay.
What would you do if you got pulled over?
What do you mean?
If you got pulled over by the police, what would you do?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? We've been over this before.
Well, I'm not going to be in that situation. Can I leave? My friend is waiting for me.
Mo, this is serious.
We need to know that you understand how to act and what to say if this situation ever happens.
Okay, got you, I will.
Hey, sit down. We're not done yet.
Why are you guys acting so serious? I don't know what to do when the time comes.
No, you need to know what to do beforehand.
And we hope that this day never comes, but you need to be prepared. So we need to know that you know what you're going to say and do, even if it's not the right thing to do, because the world is unfair. But we just want you to come home to us safely.
So, what do you do?
My name is Mohammed Haidera. I am 17 years old, and I have nothing to harm you with.
Good, that's good. So remember to always show the police where your hands are. Tell them what you're going to do before you do it.
Be polite, be respectful.
Don't fight back, don't talk back, no sudden movements. Remember, your only goal is to get home to us safely.
And if you get detained, don't sign anything, don't write anything, don't even talk until we get there.
And remember, you can't mouth off, even if your friends are. You can't. And never run, no matter how scared you are.
Never, ever run.
Remember that we're just telling you this because we love you, and we want you to come home to us safely. And we want you to grow up to be anything that you want to be, because you're amazing, you're beautiful, and we want you to stay that way.
The reality is, we have a lot to bear over the course of a day. We're not just bodies and chairs. We're made up of so many beautiful parts. And our final segment is to show us that life is rich and bountiful and full of beats and rhythms that inspire us to dance. On behalf of the entire African American Awareness Club, I would like to thank you for your time and your respect. And I would also like to thank the following: North Penn Admin, North Penn TV, Ms. Weiser, Mr. Jones, and North Penn Security. Thank you.